Your call.
Here we go.
You reckon we're on?
We're on. We're live.
Fantastic. Hello, 100 Not Out Legends.
Woohoo.
Hope you are flying.
Who's there?
Coming along.
Anyone there?
Don't give him a break. We just started.
Who is it? There's got to be, surely someone's got to be there waiting for us. Who's going to be first? Hey, happy birthday, Debbie Bunyard.
Oh,
Debbie Bunyard's birthday today.
today? Oh,
Yeah.
happy birthday, Debbie Bunyard. Oh, if Debbie Bunyard comes on today,
We'll sing her happy birthday.
yes, we will sing a happy birthday, 100%.
Ooh,
But if
100%.
she does, that is like next level, because I know she's a very loyal Facebook liver. I do love that there are people that look forward to our Facebook Live each week.
Yeah, me too.
I feel really blessed and humbled that that's the case. I've got a bit of a snotty nose, so I apologise if I sniffle a bit. It's really doing my head in a bit because it doesn't happen very often. I'm not used to it. Sandra Jones says, "Hey guys, hey Sandra, thanks for joining us on this Facebook Live."
Yeah. Hey, Sandra.
You are looking really sharp, Damo.
Well, I just did a presentation for L'Oreal, and you don't rock up in a t-shirt and barefoot doing a presentation for L'Oreal.
One of the
No way.
big ones, one of the big boys.
Robin White. Did you ever taste
Oh.
Robin White's sauerkraut? She just made the best sauerkraut. I don't know if she's still making it. If you're still
I do
making
love-
that
do love
sauerkraut,
it.
Robin, it's unbelievable.
Let us know, Robin. Let us know where to buy it.
Solid. Really
I'm
good.
just gonna mute and blow my nose one last time. Can you just tell everyone one of your
All right,
cheese
turn
jokes or
around the other
something?
way. We just don't want to see anything go past the tissue, you know. Spin around. Spin around. Oh, dear. How about that, hey? Piercy, he's got a bit of snot. If that was happening in Melbourne, he would have to go get tested. He would have to go get tested because any symptoms, including fatigue, a little sniffle, a little bit of cold chill on your eyes that might make your eyes tear a little bit, even some tears of pain as a result of being locked in to your own house after 8 o'clock at night from curfew. Thank God that's lifted. That would classify as a symptom.
Yep.
Mediocre,
And,
Dan.
I saw Bernard Salt say that sneezing is going to become one of the most taboo social, just visual disturbances.
My sneezes
You know,
are massive.
if you don't sneeze like this, you are going to have death stares.
Yeah.
And what did he say? Get used to masks as the new normal for the next 10 years in Melbourne.
Yeah, but that's ridiculous.
Come on, Bernard.
Did he
Bernard,
write
he's
that
just trying to
article?
get a headline.
That was the Herald Sun, wasn't it? That was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was Herald Sun,
Yeah.
but I just
good.
maybe he was misquoted, but
No, he wasn't.
or maybe he was just looking for a headline.
Yeah,
but,
he's looking for
you know,
headlines. Just headline grabbing. That's what he was doing.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. I read it. Everyone else called
Yep.
BS on it. It was just stupid. It was a
Good.
dumb article.
Bit
even
of clickbait.
Yeah.
Shall we get underway? Shall I
Yeah.
hit record?
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's do it.
Do this, baby. All right, baby. All right, let's do it. In 3, 2, and 1. Welcome to 100 Not Out, a weekly show dedicated to helping you master the art of aging well. Marcus Pearce here with you. And as always, for episode number 393, we are approaching 400 Not Out. It gives me great joy to shoot down to Melbourne to the
Yoda.
premier wellness expert in this country. He has just given a presentation to L'Oreal. He is all suited up. He's kitted up. He is looking suave. He is Dr. Damien Christoph. Hello, brother.
Hello, brother. Great to see you. Looking fresh as a daisy up there in Byron Shire. Relaxed, tanned, bronzed, fresh, haircut, pressed t-shirt.
Feeling good.
So good. I bet it's like 27 degrees or something like that up there, is it?
Yeah, it is nice. I won't deny it, but I haven't pressed a t-shirt in probably 20 years since when I was 19, probably trying to
Because
impress
you
a
don't
girl.
need to,
so-
because it's so warm up there that the creases of the t-shirt just iron themselves out. That's what's going on. We're feeling it. We know down here in BF Idaho in Melbourne. We know what's going on. We want to be up there. That's where we'd prefer to be, up with you.
Oh, I'm
Guarantee
telling
it.
you, it's a
Guarantee it.
yeah, it's I think a lot of us, I'm sure everyone outside of Victoria, I
Yes.
think is just hanging, just wanting the world to be a bit more normal, which I imagine for Victorians is just that would just be it on steroids. Like you must just be so you just got to be absolutely hanging, don't you?
Hanging more than a sneeze from the back of a mask. I got to tell you, like 100% hanging. So excited,
Hanging.
can't wait. You know, it's just it's tough being dragged along. You know. Anyway, let's not talk about it. Let's talk about other stuff because I'm sick of mediocre, and I want to be better than that. I'm sick of it.
You're not mediocre. I think it's been bubbling away in my mind for the last 2 or 3 weeks. A conversation that one of our loyal listeners and viewers and supporters, Peter Lennon, brought up in a Facebook Live I did, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago. And he's probably on every episode, Pete, in terms of Facebook Live. And given Murphy's Law being one of the universal laws, he won't be on today. But I want to raise this conversation about the word mediocre and is it a bad word? And as you know, I've written a book and I'm just about to release it to the world. Just quietly, I started taking pre-sales on Monday at a talk I was giving because I thought, stuff it, got to put it out there at some point, and I just made a little one-pager just to go, all right, if you like what I'm talking about, there is a book coming. I'd like to think people will have it by Christmas. But the reason why I tell you this is because you get to this point and you start going, well, am I really going to print this? And there has been feedback, which has been given very lovingly, that some parts of the book, for want of a better term, lack empathy. And one of those terms, this was about 6 or 8 weeks ago, was I have references in the book to the exceptionals. And for 8 or 9 drafts of the book, I had references to the mediocres. Now, people that know me aren't offended when they read it because they know me, but I give that manuscript to someone that doesn't know me and they think I am a dead set prick.
A knob.
Because it comes across
You're
as
not a knob, though. You're not a prick or a knob. But
no, but this is the really interesting thing. And so it makes me wonder, the term mediocre.
Yeah.
Is it a good or a bad word? And I thought we could talk about this because there are people at the moment that are having to not have the quality of life that they would like to have.
Yeah.
You know, and how, where do we go? So, what do you think? I mean, you've got the manuscript. You've read big chunk of it. So, you know.
I actually read nearly half of it. And not because I felt like I needed to stop. It's just that I felt like I needed to read my book that I had to study. So I had a lot of other things that I had to get done. So that's the reason. I'm busting to continue to read the rest of it. I'll absolutely love it. It's an easy read. It feels like when you read this book that Marcus is sitting there with you reading you a bedtime story. You actually have to read it fast because that's how he writes it. He writes it fast. So you got to read it fast. And then it sounds like Marcus is speaking at you, which is great. It's so nice. You sit there with a little, latte and a CPC, and you feel right at home. It's nice. So I really enjoy it. I really, really enjoy the book. So Marcus, well done, well written. I was one of those people that kind of pulled up a bit rough with the whole concept of mediocres, people being called out as being mediocres. Now, the idea of living a mediocre life doesn't appeal to me. But for what we might identify as being mediocre, someone might identify as being exceptional. And so I then thought, well, maybe we shouldn't be labeling people. You shouldn't be labeling people mediocres, because anybody is an exceptional in their own mind, right? So
every human being is an exceptional, 100%.
This is it, right? Exactly. Yep. Now, regardless of where you scale people as being mediocre or exceptional, if you label someone as mediocre, it means that you're saying that they're not as good as the exceptionals. But that could be as good as what they want. Let's say, for example, they live in a shack in Byron Shire, not in Mullumbimby and not at Byron Bay Town Centre or wherever the big, really expensive places are where Chris lives.
Broken Head.
Yeah.
Broken Head, yep.
Let's say they want to just live there and they want to live on small amounts of income and that's their exceptional life.
That's
How
exceptional.
good. Imagine
Yes.
they can afford to go to Little Ikaria every single week on a Sunday afternoon, go and drink some red wine, eat some dolmades, a little bit of lamb, some
Guacamayas,
tzatziki, zucchini croquettes, like all that sort of stuff, and they have an Icarian experience in Byron Shire, but they live in a little, cubby house somewhere, and that's their exceptional life.
A tiny house.
Tiny house. What's wrong with that? I think that's exceptional. Right now, I would kill for that. Like, I'd be there in a second, in a heartbeat. So, for me, like, I think I wouldn't want to call out somebody as being mediocre. I like the idea of acknowledging that a word exists, that mediocre or mediocrity exists. And that could be something that people want to move away from. But I don't think people should be labelled as mediocre based on a set of criteria.
Yes, this is good. This is good. So for those people that are going, what are you guys talking about? The term the mediocres was in the book and it's no longer in the book. So the term is now only referenced as the exceptionals.
Mm-hmm.
But the term mediocre was still felt to be was still felt to be somewhat heavy-handed. And I feel, and this is what I'd really love to talk about, is the word is very subjective. So for some people, I feel like they want to actually say simple, like a simple life, or other people might want to say an ordinary life, but an ordinary life can be extraordinary. So we find the extraordinary in the ordinary because the sunshine happens every day or the sun rises every day.
True.
Some people might call it ordinary or simple, but it's actually exceptional when you really, really think about it. Like, it's friggin' amazing that happens.
Yeah.
So I wonder, and even I'm just wanting to get a feel of where society is at in its definition of mediocre, because in the conversation that Pete Lennon and I had, what we realized is that Pete really means simple when he says mediocre. So he says, I talk to my kids about enjoying a mediocre life, but he's not saying it as in spending more money than you earn, eating a terrible diet, not exercising or having any movement that you love, being socially unengaged, not having any fulfillment in your work, which is really all of my definitions of mediocre.
Yeah.
He's actually talking about finding fulfillment in the simple parts of life. So what we both realized was he actually means ordinary. And my question to you, great man, is do you think that society, this is almost, it's a selfish question because I'd love to know the answer. Do you think society sees the word mediocre defined as ordinary or mediocre defined as below, like subpar, average, not enough?
Well, we've got some listeners, we've got some watchers and listeners right now, so I'd love for them to join in. So we've got Lozzie there, we've got Wendy, Robin, Sandra. We know that you're all there. There's other people that are watching that haven't written anything. So Xantha, Yotta, Luca, and that might be all that I can see that's actually watching right now.
People?
But
this is amazing.
What would be cool to know is what you guys all think, because we'll read all that out. But I think society sees mediocre as being below par. Like it's
that's good.
Subpar, not just easy or laid back or simple. I think a simple life is different to a mediocre life. Like if you said, I'm living a simple life, you kind of go, cool, good for you. But if you say, I'm living a mediocre life, they go, oh, you poor thing. That's not good.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a connotation to it.
Because I would love people to, I term it when you and I talk about life, Ikaria-ing your life, which is simplifying your life. Like when I hear people going, oh, I've cut all of this out of my life and now I'm just focusing on this. It's like, oh, it sounds so nice and simple. So I feel like simplicity is the key, a major key to living a great life. Mediocre, if we use the term mediocre, like a mediocre marriage or a mediocre social life, I feel like people would go, no, I don't want that. But if we said simple and fulfilling, I think most people would go, yes, please, like give me simplicity, give me.
See, to me, that's exceptional, right? Simple and fulfilling.
100%.
That's exceptional.
Yeah.
But that is different to the word mediocre.
Yes. Yep, that's
you know
right.
What I mean? And so Lozzie says subpar is how she views it. And Robin says, I'm not a fan of the word mediocre. I feel it's subpar. The simple life, on the other hand, has appeal and doesn't feel like an insult. And I agree with Robin there. I feel like mediocre is is a judgment.
Yeah, that's it. So okay, so now we move on to the next big question. And
Yes.
again, this is very self indulgent because I had 80 odd references to the word mediocre in the book.
You got a booger
And-
running down your nose. You got a big booger running down your nose.
I've got something. I can feel it.
Quick, get it, quick before it runs out.
There's something escaping out of my nose.
Screaming bat out of the
I don't know
cave.
what it is.
That one was screaming out.
Right.
Sandra goes, my thoughts on mediocre is just living day to day with no big goals or dreams. Simple to me is different to mediocre. There you go.
Yep.
My thoughts on mediocre is just living day to day with no big
Yep.
goals or dreams. So
Yeah,
it's kind of like
and that-
just existing.
So yeah, simple and fulfilling is what I strive for, is what Loz says, and I think many of us would be the same. I think that's exactly right. We don't put a lot of value in the word mediocre. This is Wendy Stewart, sorry. I don't really put a lot of value in the word mediocre. I think as long as we are living to our best potential, then we are living an exceptional life. 100%.
Yes. So that's why I wouldn't want to judge somebody or label them as a mediocre.
No, but I
Because
would
a
like
mediocre
someone...
person's not going to pick up your book.
No. Well, okay, so here's the thing. In order for something to change in your life, in order for, not you, but just human nature,
Yes.
we want to feel a level of, like, there has to be a gap, a void, there has to be some pain, it has to be, like at the moment, just to be completely transparent, I know I want more, I want to move more, I want to exercise more, and I'm wondering, do I want to get back into running? Do I want to get back into cycling? I know I want to sweat. I don't want to do like a, hard anaerobic. I know I want to do some aerobic.
Yep.
But the pain has to be, again, like if you're pain or pleasure, I am more like pain based. So
Yes.
in my own headspace, sorry for the sniffles, something has to be mediocre enough to go, this is not good enough. This is not who I am. This is not me, the best version of me. As Wendy said, this is not my best potential. Like at the moment, I'm not living my best potential from a movement perspective.
Can I pull you up? Can I pull you up there?
Yeah, absolutely. This is very good.
Because what I think happens when people do that, when they wait for dissatisfaction to arrive, which is what you're talking about, right? You're going, I'm not happy with this, right? You run away from the problem, not towards a solution. You're not running towards something that's better. So you're not aspiring to achieve. You're running away from being mediocre. So it's harder. Like it's harder to run away from something than towards something.
Well, this is the crux of it, and I think all of us have a different. We're all on one side of the fence here. Are you away from or towards too? Because I know, Damo, I am definitely way more, for want of a better term, pain-based. I am very like, if I pull out my goals for the next period of time, they're all towards. They're not like, don't do this, don't do that. They're not pain-based, if that makes sense. But it's the same. Like I use this example a lot in terms of away from and towards too. In the paper, everything that we see in the paper is very much away from. It's never towards too.
100%.
And I wonder.
This is what Daniel Andrews is doing. It's away from. Yeah, never towards. He dangles the 3-week thing, but says if you do something right now, I'm going to fine you an extra $5,000. So you don't want to get that fine of $5,000. So you behave accordingly as opposed to look forward to better days. So there's a slap, and I don't respond well to that. But so you're right. Some people do respond well to that, Piercy. Yeah.
So, so the conversation I'm going to say is if no one buys the paper when it says it's 21 degrees outside, it's a beautiful day for a picnic, which is very much a pleasure. If we're talking pain, pleasure, away from, towards to. Most people, not all, but most people are more away from than towards to. Unfortunately, news is the perfect example because, again, as I've said before on this episode, if it bleeds, it leads, which is very much away from. True. That's how the news works. And that's how, unfortunately, again, if the saber-toothed tiger is there, ready to eat you, that's away from. Not many people fight the tiger. Most people are going to run away. Still get eaten, by the way. But
not unless you're really quick.
Not unless you're Damo. So I think this is just to give people the idea. The book is very empowering. It's very much based on exceptional rather than mediocre. I thought there would be more references to mediocre than there are. If there's 300 pages in the book, the word mediocre now comes up, I think, 60 odd times or 40 times. Well, it comes up probably once every 5 words, but every 5 pages. But I did replace the word mediocre with average because what the feedback is that people can actually relate. They don't feel, I think Wendy used the term insult, and I think this is really important. And you use the term label, Damo. The word mediocre, there is some, not defensive is not the right term, but many people just in society are happy to say that they feel average in an area of life. Like, it could be that you feel like work's just okay or your health's just okay, but no one would ever actually say it's mediocre. You
True.
know?
True.
So
can I just qualify this?
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
I like the use of the word mediocre. I like it. Like, I think it's good. I think it describes well what is subpar, right? So I would say that. The word average can be used in 2 ways, like the average wage is, or the average lifestyle or the average lifespan is, blah blah blah. It's kind of like the middle ground, but mediocre is not middle ground. Like, mediocre is below par. So I see that they're 2 different words, and I like the use of the word mediocre, not the label the mediocres. And so the removal of the label of calling somebody a mediocre person is different to giving them another term. So I think the use of the word mediocre describes a situation beautifully that is subpar. It's not that good. You could be doing better, blah blah blah. But to label somebody a mediocre because they're not exceptional is more insulting. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. It's just kind of funny because I feel like if anyone, as I said, people that know me and read the book, they wouldn't feel offended because they could hear, like you said, you can hear me talking when you read the book, which is a great thing when you read a book from someone that you've listened to. But if someone bought this book, I'm doing version 9 at the moment. If someone bought version 7 or 6 at an airport in Hong Kong and they read the book, they would go, "This guy
who's this
has
bloke?
Some nerve.
Who's this calling me mediocre?
Calling people the mediocres."
I bet he lives in Byron Bay. Let me say.
Oh dear. So anyway, I'm now just looking for terms of when I use the word average, but a lot of the times they're actually more like just the average age is 74 years of age, whatever. But I'm glad that it feels like with people that it actually brings up conversation, because more than anything, like even if the book does offend, more than anything, if it brings the conversation to a point of discussing standards in life, then that's great. And the message of the book is definitely not you've got to earn $1 million and live in some beautiful part of the world. The key is if you earn $30,000 a year in Australia and you love your life, then game over. You win. Well
bang,
done.
bang.
Like
Tick.
That's it. Tick. The key is actually just writing the script. What do you want in each of the 8 areas of life?
Yeah.
What's exceptional for you?
Yeah.
And what's your set point? Because I think really more than anything, a lot of people just haven't asked that question of themselves in the 8 ingredients of life. They would do it in 1 or 2, whether it's career or family, but forget or just not know to ask those questions of themselves in other areas of life.
Good.
So
Yeah, good. Well, I think this is important. I think this is a good little chat. It just irons out a few little crinkles. I bet you're going to have to write now your 10th version. But
Nah, this has been very confirming. I'm very happy with the tone of the book.
Good.
It's far more empowering than it was a month ago.
Really? It was already unbelievable.
Oh no, honestly.
Hey, if anybody wants a copy of the original manuscript.
See, David.
Hey,
That's too good. That's too good.
I can flick it your way. You want to have a little leaked version of the manuscript, hey? I could bootleg that one. Oh, yeah.
That
Take
is
that
so
down to
good.
Office Works and photocopy that a few times.
Oh, I tell you what.
Absolutely.
You could take it down to the Daily Mail and just show them how much of a prick
Look what
this
I
guy
found.
was.
Look what I found.
Wendy Stewart wants a copy of the original. Anyone
Travis
that
Lozzie.
would be unfortunate enough to receive that gets 120,000 word. You've got the long one. You've got the long version. This
good,
one
though.
will fit.
It's good.
This one will fit into a nice size book. You know, it's a real science, this book stuff. 15 centimeters by 23 centimeters, 2 centimeters in from the edge, certain sizes. I'm looking at the bookshelf going, you know, no more than 500 grams or else you're paying through the nose for postage. It's like, gee whiz.
Wow.
You know, it's really starting to do my head in. So's my nose, but anyway.
That's doing your nose out. That's doing your head out. Like, you're leaking brains. You're learning so much. You are leaking brains. Cerebral spinal fluid pouring out through the nose. That's what's going on here. It's really happening.
You know, I'm glad that you're okay watching snot dribble out of my nose compared to if I had a piece of chocolate here, that would do your head in. But snot coming out of my nose is actually a lot more acceptable for you. That's too funny.
Wendy did actually have another
say?
comment. And just before we finish up, let's just make sure we cover off of Wendy's other comment. Everyone's version of an exceptional life is different. And as long as we live authentically, big word for you, Wendy, we're living our best life. In my honest opinion. Purple Heart. There we go. I love that.
That's it. That's it.
Well
Everyone's a unique, exceptional human being, and you just define what it is for you.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well done.
PC, good little chat. Good little chat. I'm glad we brought up that word mediocre. I think it's important. Good thing for people to ponder. Think about it. You know, maybe if you feel like you're living your life subpar, don't label yourself as a mediocre. Say, okay, am I running towards or running away? Like, what am I going to do? What's going to be different? Do I drink red wine, 10 times a week from now on? Or are we going to drink it, 5 times a week from now on? Just maybe think about what it is that's going to improve your life. You're running away from disease or running towards health and well-being. Are you running towards 100, not out, or you're running away from dying early? So just think about what it is that you're wanting to achieve.
Well done, Damo. Well done. Now, I'll put the link in the comments for anyone that wants a pre-order. Anyone wants to pre-order the book. It should be in people's hands by Christmas. That is the plan. Wendy Stewart is very... no, she's not taking offense to your terms, Damo. She's very just explaining that she has a lot of big words in her vocabulary.
Yes, and they're all French.
You know what?
And they're definitely not in the Hawthorne theme song because there's no big words in that.
Oh, they're not going to hear that until 2021.
Oof, if you're lucky.
Hey, thanks for listening, Damo, and thanks to all of our viewers and Facebookers and 100 Not Out community members for having this conversation. I think if we're going to live the 100 Not Out lifestyle, I think we do want to be running towards exceptional. I think that is the key.
I think so too. Thank you, PC.
Thank you, legend. Now, folks, for all things Damien Christoph, head on over to DamienChristoph.com. Myself, MarcusPearce.com.au.
Hey, question.
Yeah, go question.
If people pre-order,
Yep.
Will you personally sign it for all of those people that pre-order?
If they want it, yes.
Yes, of course they do.
Yes,
I think you should. I think that's a great thing to do. I
will.
I think everyone who pre-orders one of Piercy's books can have a love note.
I will send
not just a
everyone
signature, a love note.
Yep, I will put a love note in everyone. In old media days, this is before social media. I had the great fortune of meeting a lot of high-profile, largely sports people, but entertainers and the rest. And you know what my pet hate was?
No.
When a colleague would go up, I must have been pretty highly strung, but a colleague would go up, stop what they were doing, regardless of how busy we were or how close to deadline and what was going on, and go and ask that person for their autograph or a photo on their old dodgy digital camera or whatever. And so I've got to think, if people would like it though, if they think it's good, then I'm very happy. I'm very happy to pop it in. I think that's, if you think it's a good thing,
Yeah, mate. Yeah,
I'll do
totally.
it. For anyone that pre-orders, I will write a personal love note
A love note.
to, yep,
Yeah.
I'm in.
Good.
I'm in. All right, done. Done. I'll pop it in the comments.
Good.
I love our tribe. I love all of the comments here. Peter Lennon's going to be very annoyed that he wasn't a part of this episode. And Debbie Bunyard,
Debbie, happy
who's
birthday,
had all of these birthday references, didn't get it sung because she's not here to have it sung too.
More important things to do.
I think we should have a little segment each week. If it's your birthday, let us know. And our dulcet tones. I don't know if that's good or bad. Actually.
Maybe just one verse. I don't know about that. Maybe the hip hip hooray bit.
The hip hip hooray. Too good. All right, folks. We love you. Thanks for joining us on the podcast. And next week, Gene Kitson. I know we said it last week, but Gene's had to just shuffle back a couple of weeks. But Gene Kitson next week for probably the funniest episode of 100 Not Out. Until next week, folks, may the rest of your life be the best of your life. Take care. Bye for now. Done.
Bye for now. I didn't get a chance to say. I saw that Wendy said that Debbie Boneyard is celebrating. Why did she celebrate with us? And where is she celebrating?
Michelle,
who can you celebrate with in Melbourne? No one.
No, she can definitely celebrate.
Where?
Actually, good point. Where can she celebrate? I have got snot dripping down my nose all the way down to my lip.
Yeah, I know. I can see it. But you know what's interesting is...
I just popped the link in there, folks. If we're still live, yeah?
Yeah, we're still live.
I just popped the link in the comments.
So...
Becoming so close to our tribe, I'm snotting in front of them.
You know what's interesting is when your body temperature when you get really hot, your blood vessels dilate, right?
Yep.
And so what can actually happen is your blood vessels can dilate in response to a temperature shift, and that can cause your nose to run.
Temperature?
Could be temperature.
You got it.
Could be other particulates in the air. Could be.
Let's do that. You know what? Let's do that next week or the week after or whenever.
Yeah.
Spring, because I know everyone loves it when you talk about it. Spring, hay fever, snot, runny noses, watery eyes. We've got to do that.
Yeah.
The annual spring hay fever allergy episode.
All right, let's do that.
You need to go.
It's possibly a little bit too late for that here, but.
What do you mean? It's September.
Well, spring has sprung, mate. Like,
You're going to start singing? This is definitely singing.
You make me feel like spring has sprung, a job to be done.
And every time I see you grin. Sorry. I'm such a happy
individual. You and I were just like a couple
of tots. Running around the meadow.
Singing me lots of forget-me nots.
All right, quick. We better go before the poor internet dies. I'm going to go and buy some snacks for dinner.
Good idea. Stick one up your nose. That'll fix it. All right. We'll catch you later, PC. See you later, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Bye
for now.
Bye for now. Bye.